If you just can't wait for all the upcoming Batman-related projects starting next year, here are 5 titles worth checking out in the meantime on this week's Binge Guide. Along with the release of The Batman in theaters October 2021, a new spin-off series, Gotham P.D, will be coming to HBO Max at some point as well. Luckily, there's a whole Batcave full of options to binge if you want to get more acquainted with Bruce and all of his, well, acquaintances. And from animated to live action and old to new, this list has got you covered, starting with our editor's pick and my favorite animated show of all time, Batman Beyond. This animated show about Bruce Wayne training a new Batman for the 21st century ran on the WB, remember that? From 1999 to 2000, with 2 of 3 seasons coming in 100% fresh on the tomato meter. This show came from the same people who brought us the Emmy-winning Batman the Animated Series in the early 90s, with one critic calling it an excellent and underappreciated series that shows Batman in a whole new light. You can binge this show in about 20 hours, but when you're done, you should be totally trained as the next Batman. I think that's how it works. Next up is our certified fresh pick, Gotham. This show ran for 5 fresh seasons, 2 of them certified fresh from 2014 to 2018, and it follows a young detective James Gordon and serves as an origin story for all kinds of supervillains and vigilantes, including some kid who will eventually grow up to dress like a bat. Star Ben McKenzie is surrounded by a talented cast, making up what critics say is a dense roster of colorful villains and an appealingly stylized approach to the Batman mythos. It'll take you 70 hours to binge all 100 episodes of this series, but at least you'll know that Detective Gordon does eventually get a promotion. Next up is our brand new pick, and that's going to the animated series Harley Quinn. The second straight fresh season of this show wrapped up on DC Universe earlier this year, and it follows the longtime nemesis of Batman after she breaks up with the Joker and heads out on her own. Along with Kaylee Cuoco as Harley, the stacked voice cast includes Lake Bell, Tony Hale, JB Smoove, Giancarlo Esposito, and Diedrich Bader voicing Batman himself, just to name a few. And critics call this a violently delightful and surprisingly insightful addition to the DC animated universe. After binging this one in just under 10 hours, you can toss out a few Harley Quinn cuss words about the fact that season 3 has not yet been picked up. And for our throwback pick this week, we're throwing it all the way back to 1966 to the original Batman TV series. This classic, starring Adam West and Burt Ward, ran for 120 episodes over 3 years and has lived on for decades in syndication. And while the campiness and lighter tone is much different than the more recent iterations of Batman, critics say it's now lauded as a timeless satire of the comics canon. It also low-key had one of the coolest Batmobiles ever. You can binge this series in 50 hours, and holy fight scenes, Batman, you're gonna love how they used to throw down with bad guys. Zap, pow, and bang. And finally, at your service with our audience pick this week is the epic series Pennyworth. This show follows Bruce Wayne's butler, Alfred Pennyworth, a former Special Forces soldier who goes to work with Thomas Wayne in 1960s London. Now, critics say that while it doesn't add much to the greater Batman mythos, the intriguing characters and impressive set pieces make for an engaging spy thriller. And with an audience score of 95%, the fans are clearly into it. Season 2 is in the works, but no word on a release date yet, so until then, you can binge Season 1 in about 20 hours. All right, Bat fans, hopefully this will make your next few binge sessions bat-tastic. Be sure to let us know what you are currently streaming in the comments, and if you don't want to miss out on any future recommendations based around the movies and shows that you love, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell. As always, we can't thank you enough for watching Binge Guide right here on Rotten Tomatoes, and we'll see you guys next time.